all she had on physicians and could not be healed by any. She came from behind. She came from behind and touched the border of his garment. And immediately her flow of blood was stopped. God, we thank you for your word. Move in this place. Our ears are eager and our hearts are open to hear your word. We love you and we give you praise. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. I've learned the only actions I can control on my own. I can't make anyone do something they don't want to do. I can only control what I do. Then I realized that it is not my job to deal with what others do, but to deal with my response, which I control of what they did. I do things in life that require a response, and I need to know that my response I control. With issues that I have no control over, I cannot do anything with other people's feelings that I have no control over. I can only deal with my response to them. What I do with the stress, the strain, and the stigmas that others have is out of my control. What I can do is control my response. I control what I do, how I do, when I do, where I do, why I do. And the majority of what I do that's my control is my response to what has already been done. Lord, help me in here. Because we rarely know what is going to happen before it does. We can only control what we do when it happens. If we only have access to control the response, then the response is major. And I submit to you then, it is not what happens to you that controls the outcome, but it's your response that controls the outcome. And since what happens to you normally comes first, my response comes after, then you must know then how to come from behind and deal with it. If what happens to you comes first and my response comes after, then I must know how to come from behind. Thus, I have to tag for this sermon, I'm coming from behind. We are always coming from behind in this life. Always. Behind emotionally, behind physically, behind spiritually, and behind mentally, because life comes at you real fast. If it's not the car, then it's the dog. If it's not the dog, it's the cat. If it's not the cat, it's the fish. If it's not the fish, then it's the fish bowl. If it's not the fish bowl, then it's the water. And if it's the water, we all are swimming and bathing and drinking it. Oh my God. You'll catch that later. Coming from behind. Can't catch life. Does not matter how long you've been behind. Does not matter where you've been behind. It does not matter why you've been behind, but you are about to come from behind. Oh, church folk don't know when to shout. You miss your shout cue right there. I'll do it one more time just to help you. It does not matter how long you've been behind. It does not matter where you've been behind. It does not matter why you've been behind. It does not matter how you've been behind, but you're about to come from behind. Oh, do I need to do it again? God Almighty, what the world is going on to me? It does not matter how long you've been behind. It does not matter where you've been behind. It does not matter how you've been behind, but you're coming from behind. This is my coming from behind season. I came to help somebody today. I know I've been starting off like a locomotive a little bit slow, but the train is getting ready to roll. You got to get on board. Our text highlights a woman who knows about coming from behind. Matthew, Mark, and Luke record this story. Jesus was traveling in Capernaum, the village of Nahum, and then there he was. He met a large crowd, and a leader of the local synagogue, whose name was Jairus, who came and fell before him and pleaded with him to heal his 12-year-old little daughter. She's about to die, he said in desperation. Please come and place your hands on her, heal her so she can live. So Jesus went with him. And the crowd followed. And they were there on their way to Jairus' house. Now I have to ask you, what did you leave somewhere that's on life support?
Well,
all of us have something that needs to be fixed, worked out, or put together. And all of us have something that we need Jesus to leave this house and go to our house. So by the time we get home, the Lord has handled it. Jairus had desperation and on his side. But if you can shout in this house, I believe the Lord will leave this house and get to your house. So by the time what you have at your house has been handled by the time you get there. Lord, if you can praise the Lord in this house, the Lord will get to your house. Holler here, and he can help you there. Now, if you don't need him at your place, just sit there and look cute. But if you need the Lord to get to your house because you have something on life support, you might want to holler so the Lord will know your address. Jesus agrees to go with Jairus. So I thank you. A thank you can go right there. Because this moment lets me know that Jesus makes house calls. Go ahead and somebody ought to say thank you. Somebody ought to say thank you. Anytime you got issues and the Lord still blesses you and he makes a house call, you don't have to wait on nobody to tell you to praise him. You praise him by yourself because you got issues and the Lord still blesses you. Is there anybody to say thank you for making house call? Jairus, Jesus, the disciples, the large crowd, they're moving to Jairus' house. This woman was there and heard about Jesus and decides she would try Jesus because Jairus' daughter was 12. This woman had been suffering for 12 years. She suffered as long as Jairus' daughter had lived. And she had spent her livelihood on physicians, but could not be healed by any. Struggling with issues, she tried so much, she spent all she had. So let me ask you, what has your issue cost you? After she tried everything that failed, she decides to try Jesus. It is not that prior to this, she did not have access because Jesus was always in Capernaum. But her response to the issue, which she controlled for 12 years, was wrong. Let me say this. If what you have been doing has not worked, stop doing that. And try another way. Most importantly, try Jesus. The Bible says they were moving, and she came from behind. Let me suggest sometimes, stop finger pointing at others' issues, and thank God you don't have that going on just yet. But let me say this, you never know what somebody's issue may do for you. It may stop Jesus long enough for you to have an opportunity to get your stuff in front of him. And see, she may have tried other ways, but she tried this way because it's possible that she heard Jesus say, "I'll go with you, Jairus." And she might have heard Jairus say, "My daughter is 12. She needs healing." And Jesus says, "Okay, I'm on my way." See, something in her may have said, if he'll do that for him, What can he do for me? See, you control your response. See, she could have said, well, maybe it's all over since he's on his way to her. I don't have a chance. But in her mind, she said, if he can do that for her, then he can sure enough do that for me. She came from behind. And the fact that she could get close was a miracle. Because the type of issue she had put her in a category as unclean, because during those times, whenever a woman was bleeding during that time of the month, they could not be in worship and was considered unclean. And this was for 12 years consistently, day after day, hour after hour, minute after minute. So the fact that she was making her way from behind was a miracle, because if someone caught her, they would yell, unclean, unclean. And if I were preaching from another gospel other than Mark, I would tell you, other than Luke, in Mark and in Matthew, they were yelling unclean. And see, the people that were scattering in those gospels gave her a direct path to touch Jesus. Because Jesus wasn't moved by the ones who were unclean. But then I would preach that her whole issue, the issue she got her healing. The issue that she had that they called her by got her breakthrough. But in this case, she came from behind and nobody noticed her issue. Nobody noticed her. This is how I know the Lord is blessing you. And you still have issues. When nobody can even notice, they don't even notice it, and it is not until after the fact that they find out what you were dealing with. And they say, well, when were you going through that? When they say, well, when did that happen to you? So this shout right here is not for cash, it's not for cars, it's not for clothes. But this shout right here is because the Lord covered me. And I've got to help somebody to shout right there. It's not for cash, cars, or clothes, but it's because he covered me. In spite of my struggle, the Lord keeps blessing me. He's blessing his blessings not because of me, but in spite of me, he's blessing me. Somebody ought to give God a hallelujah that he's been coming here all this time. She came from behind and she touched the hem of his garment, and immediately her flow of blood stopped. She's the only one that knew that. I've been to a few concerts. I've met a few famous people, and I've seen some on TV, and I watch in amazement fans push and crowds get close to the stars, even reaching out as they pass, just to touch them, perhaps hoping some of their stardom will rub off on them, or perhaps just feeling that in some way, that brief encounter in some way connects them. And today, most stars and people of importance have multiple bodyguards, several eyes and ears to help them to make sure that no one gets too close, to protect them from any unwanted attention or danger. And I guess you could say that the disciples were Jesus' bodyguards. Though it seems that it would be a sought-after position in their case, with all the enemies that he was making, it could be very dangerous. But imagine their surprise when Jesus turned to them and said, "Who touched me?" I could hear some today saying, really, are you asking us that question? Really? I can hear stars saying, I can hear the bodyguards around, so with all the people pushing and grabbing on all sides, you're going to ask us that? Ask us that? Notice that she did not have to ask anything. She just had to believe something. And come from behind. She did not have to say anything. All she had to do was come from behind. She did not have to audibly bring out any attention to herself. She just had to touch the right thing. And what she believed caused her to have action. And the response that she controlled to the situation dictated the outcome. And Jesus said, "Who touched me?" And when all denied it, Peter and those with him, "Master, the multitudes, they're pressing in on you. And you say, 'Who touched me?' And Jesus said, 'Somebody touched me, for I perceive power going out from me.'" See, Jesus went from "who touched me" to somebody touched me. Because it's impossible to touch him with faith and he not touch you back. Lord, help me again. Many were touching him, but only one touched him like that. Yes. Now when the woman saw that she could not be hidden, she came trembling, falling down before him, and she declared in his presence to all the people the reason that she touched him. And why she had, and how she had been healed immediately. See, when the Lord blesses you, it's impossible for you to keep it to yourself. If the Lord has blessed you, don't keep it to yourself. You can tell somebody it's no secret. What God can do, what he's done for me, he'll do the same for you. She comes from behind with the intent to be healed, but she leaves whole. Wow. Because she got out of her flow and got in his flow. He was flowing to Jairus' house, and she had to come from behind and to get his touch and to touch him, she had to expedite her movement in his flow. Right. Okay. When she got out of her flow of trying to do it herself, that was taking her life from her, she got in his flow, the one who gives life. Response, moving from her flow to his flow, got her blessed with overflow. You missed it right there. Stop trying to do it your way and do it the Lord's way, and your way will be made for you. Lord, help me in here. So my first point I have to tell you is, if you're going to come from behind, get in the right flow. Lord, have mercy, so you can have some overflow. Tell somebody, get in God's flow. Get in his flow. Get in the right flow. I'm hastening to my seat. 2 more points. And if you're going to come from behind, you will have to press past the obstacles. You're going to have to press past some things. Some hindering thoughts. Others' opinions. Oppositional forces. Press past standard solutions. And see, I heard it said a wise person is someone who knows how to build something with the bricks thrown out. You got to pass, you got to get past those obstacles and come from behind with the stumbling blocks that have been placed in front of you, and come from behind building using those same stumbling blocks that they put in your path. See, you got to know how to take what life gives you and throws your way and turn it over to God and get in his flow and let him handle it, and come from behind pressing past those obstacles just so you can get to Jesus. So if you're going to come from behind, you're going to have to press past any obstacles in your way. But if you're going to come from behind, you have to be willing to make the first move. If you're going to come from behind, you have to be willing to make the first move. Come on. See, it doesn't work like this, that you get what you think you need. Then you go and get it as you desire. That's just not how God works. Well, God makes you have to have faith. He makes you have faith before you can get that thing that you need to go get the thing that you want. I'm trying. See, he makes you have faith and make some type of movement or mobility towards a thing before you really know that you got the thing in the first place. So you have to make the move first. Somebody is waiting for God to move, and could it be God is waiting for you to move? Lord, help me here. And if you're going to come from behind, do what you have never done before, so you can get what you've never had before. See what you've never seen before and experience what you've never experienced before, because you got to come from behind.
Yeah.
I've been struggling with the process and the time frame that I feel God has aligned for my life. And most times in life, I feel like the underdog. I'm all right with that. Coming from behind. But you see, what I've learned through life's processes, and what I've learned through life's situations, what I've learned through life's predicaments and conditions, is that though I may be coming from behind, I am still coming through. Oh, somebody should have shouted right there. My young people, they say, come through. You coming through. And when I get through, I'm coming out not just to be healed, but I'm coming out to be whole. Let me see if church won't know when to shout. Coming from behind, but I'm coming up to where God wants me to be. And when you say that you're coming from behind, that means to succeed in winning after having been in a losing position. Lord, help me again. It means succeeding in winning after you've been in a losing position. I don't know who I'm preaching to or who I'm talking to up in here, but somebody is saying, I've been in a losing position. But can I tell you that you're getting ready to come from behind and you're going to be in a winning situation? The odds were against you and nobody betted on you, but they better place all bets on you this time, because you're getting ready to make that turn and you're coming from behind. Do I have anybody that'll help yourself to preach to yourself and testify? I don't know what the odds look like against it, and I've been in a losing position, but I'm going to declare today that I'm coming from behind. Somebody ought to make that your declaration, that no matter the situation you're in and no matter what you're facing, that you're getting ready to come from behind. You ought to tell somebody, let this be the last look that you see me as broke as I am, and as down as I am, and as low as I am. This will be the last time you see me like this, because I'm coming from behind. Do I have anybody that'll lift up your hands and look at your enemies, look at your situation, look at your circumstance, and say, don't throw your best shot, but I'm getting ready to come from behind. I have a witness in here that says no matter the situation, I'm getting ready to come from behind. Wait. Then he said to her, you have been made whole. God Almighty. She was in there to be healed. Good God. But she ends up becoming whole. Can I help you? Healing means your present condition that's internal, that it's fixed medically. But to be made whole means that all the money she spent while she was trying to get her fix, all of that is coming back and then some. And for all the relationships that were broken, somebody in here will say, I don't want to just be healed, but I want to be made whole. Everything I've lost in trying to do it myself, I thank in God to know that I'm making a comeback, and He can give me that and then some. Lord, help me here. Okay. He said to her, go in peace. He said to her, now go in, you've been made whole, now go in peace. Meaning, go make more of this thing happen in your life.
All right, come on.
You hold the controls of the response. And that can determine the outcome. Don't think what was done controls the outcome. Your response controls the outcome. But it is go and make this more happen in your life. It is that. But it's also a play off of this. If ever you get in a situation and you have to show up in court, and if the opposing forces don't have enough evidence built against you, before you even get into court proceedings, the judge will look at the evidence as there. And if it's not enough evidence before you even get started, the judge will say, case dismissed. Really, what Jesus tells this woman is that every evidence they built against you for your guilty circumstance, go in peace, case dismissed. Matter of fact, they can't even bring it back to court anymore. Go in peace, case dismissed, over and done with. Once and for all, can't be brought back up in your face anymore. And somebody ought to give God praise that He's going to go, be made whole, and go in peace. There's nothing the enemy can hold against you. There's no evidence He's got on you because God covers you and you're coming from behind. You ought to shout and give God glory that you're getting ready to beat God. See, coming from behind, you know, you think that it's a bad position. My brothers can tell you, those women who love sports, what happens? Just tap your neighbor and say, neighbor, get ready. What happens when the team that should not have won comes back up and win? I like it, I like it, I like it, I like it. The commentators get on the microphone and they say, oh, it's been an upset. That's what they say, right? When the ball turns over and the team that should have lost because the odds were against them, and that one runs that ball to the touchdown and makes that touchdown, they say, oh, it's been an upset. I come to tell somebody you ought to get ready. Because the commentators from heaven get ready to tell everyone in your enemies and situations